Dead is dead, right? Not always. Some species disappear from view for decades, are officially declared extinct by scientists, and then suddenly reappear alive and well. Sometimes the evidence is rock solid, an unexpected find in a remote region. In other cases, it's murky sightings, blurry footage, or persistent rumors. But in all cases, they raise one central question. What still lives in the far corners of our planet, far from the human eye? In this video, you'll discover 7 animals once thought to be extinct but which may still be alive or have already been rediscovered. And trust me, the last animal on this list proves that even the most unlikely comeback is truly possible. The thylacine Tasmanian tiger. The thylacine, better known as the Tasmanian tiger, was a marsupial native to Tasmania. With its striped back and dog-like head, it looked like a cross between a wolf and a tiger butt. Genetically, it was more closely related to kangaroos than to predators. Due to hunting, habitat loss, and competition from introduced dogs, the species became rare in the early 20th century. The last officially recognized specimen died in 1936 in a zoo in Hobart. Since then, the thylacine has become an icon of extinct animals. Yet sightings continue to surface often in the dense forests of Tasmania and even on the Australian mainland. Some reports are vague, but others include videos and photos that spark debate. In 2019, a photo emerged showing an animal strongly resembling a thylacine. While many of these proofs are dubious, some biologists take the report seriously, suggesting that a small hidden population could still survive in Tasmania's remote wilderness out of sight of humans. The Ivory-Billed Woodpecker, Campephalus principalis, with its black and white plumage, striking crest, and ivory-colored beak, the Ivory-Billed Woodpecker was once a standout figure in the swamp forests of the southeastern United States. But due to massive deforestation and hunting, its habitat quickly disappeared. The last confirmed sighting occurred in 1944, and it was considered extinct ever since. However, sightings began to resurface after 2000. In 2004, researchers from Cornell University claimed to have seen and recorded the bird, but the footage was unclear. Reports have continued to come in, often from remote areas in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Florida. In 2021, a team presented new video footage they claimed clearly showed the Ivory-Billed Woodpecker. The debate continues to this day. The U.S. government considered declaring the species officially extinct, but ultimately postponed the decision. As long as there's doubt, and as long as the swampy wilderness remains unexplored, hope lingers that this so-called Lord God bird, named for the astonishment it inspired still, hides out there somewhere. The Javon Tiger, Panthera tigris sondaica. The Javon tiger was a small subspecies of tiger, unique to the Indonesian island of Java. It was last officially seen in the 1970s and declared extinct around 1980 due to large-scale deforestation, expanding agriculture, and hunting. Yet reports have persisted of unknown tracks, scratch marks on trees, and even tiger-like sounds. In 2017, fresh paw prints were discovered in Meru Batiri National Park, a protected area where the tiger once roamed. Local residents and rangers remain convinced that at least a few individuals still survive. Though no definitive visual evidence has emerged, pressure is mounting on conservationists to investigate the area more thoroughly. If the Javon tiger still lives, it would be one of the most spectacular rediscoveries of our time and a powerful argument for preserving its last remaining habitat. The Takahi, Porphyrio hochstedteri. The Takahi is a large, brightly colored flightless bird found only in New Zealand. After 1898, it was no longer seen and was assumed extinct. The introduction of predators like cats and stoats had already devastated bird populations on the islands. But in 1948, the unexpected happened. A small group of Takahis was discovered in a remote valley in Fiordland National Park, deep in the southwest of the South Island. Since then, extensive efforts have been made to protect the species. Breeding programs have been established, habitats secured, and predators actively controlled. The population is growing slowly but steadily. Still, the species remains vulnerable, with only a few hundred individuals living in the wild. The rediscovery of the Takahi is one of New Zealand's greatest conservation successes. It symbolizes the resilience of species and the power of determined people who refuse to believe it's too late. The Baiji, Yangze River dolphin. The Baiji, or Chinese river dolphin, was once a graceful symbol of the Yangtze River. This freshwater dolphin glided silently through the water, blind but perfectly adapted to life in murky rivers. But when China industrialized in the 20th century, rivers became polluted and overrun with boat traffic, and the species rapidly declined. In 2006, a major expedition searched for the dolphin. Not a single specimen was seen. Scientists declared it functionally extinct. Even if one still existed, reproduction was no longer possible. Yet, in the years that followed, local fishermen and residents continued to report sightings. In 2007, a Chinese amateur researcher even claimed to have filmed a Baiji. The footage was never convincingly verified, but it fueled the debate. Could the Baiji still survive somewhere deep within the branches of the Yangtze? And if we wait too long, will we have missed our last chance to save it? The Coelacanth, Latimeria. Of all so-called living fossils, the coelacanth is perhaps the most famous. This deep-sea fish species was known only from fossils, the youngest of which were 65 million years old. It was believed to have gone extinct with the dinosaurs. Until 1938, when a fisherman off the coast of South Africa hauled in a strange-looking fish. It turned out to be a coelacanth. The discovery caused a sensation. Here was an animal thought to have vanished since the Cretaceous and it was still alive. Since then, multiple specimens have been found, including off the Comoros Islands and near Sulawesi in Indonesia. The coelacanth lives at great depths, up to 800 meters, and moves slowly, using its unique, lobed fins. It can live over 100 years, and has remained almost unchanged in appearance since the Paleozoic era. Its rediscovery reshaped our understanding of vertebrate evolution and the limits of scientific certainty. Because if a fish lost for 65 million years is still swimming in our oceans, what else might be out there? The Fernandina giant tortoise, Chelonoidus fantasticus. Of all the giant tortoises on the Galapagos Islands, the Fernandina giant tortoise was perhaps the most mysterious. It lived on Fernandina Islandone, of the most rugged and inhospitable parts of the archipelago, an active volcanic landscape of hardened lava, barely accessible to man or beast. The species was first described in 1906, when a single male was collected by an expedition. After that, silence. For over a century, no live animal was seen. Biologists assumed the species had gone extinct, likely due to volcanic eruptions, the harsh terrain, or possibly hunting or food scarcity. The animal became a legend in scientific circles, a lost link within the Galapagos tortoise family. Until 2019. During an expedition led by the Galapagos National Park Service and the Turtle Conservancy, a team stumbled upon an adult female alive, healthy, but in an extremely remote area. They named her Fernanda. The discovery caused a sensation in the scientific community. But one question remained: was she truly a Chelonoidus fantasticus or just a stray relative? In 2022, the answer came. DNA analysis confirmed that Fernanda did indeed belong to the long-lost species. Genetically, she was closely related to the 1906 specimen. The odds of two such similar tortoises coincidentally living on the same island are virtually zero. But there's one big problem. So far, only one living individual has been found. That makes the species' survival extremely precarious. A single female without a male means no reproduction, no recovery. Yet researchers haven't given up hope. New expeditions are being prepared, hoping to find a second individual or more in Fernandina's rugged interior. Fernanda is living proof that even after more than 100 years without sightings, a species can survive. And her story underscores the importance of perseverance, preserving untouched nature, and the fact that you never truly know what's still out there until you really look. Curious about more hidden wonders of the natural world? Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more incredible stories.